Welcome to the Fresno State Career Development Center. Today you're here to complete the Focus 2 assessment. What makes Focus 2 a little bit more unique? Ultimately, it is revolved around Fresno State majors. You go into the Focus 2, you complete 5 assessments, which will take you about 20-25 minutes. But then what's really great is that it will show you what majors here at Fresno State really correlate with who you are. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, go to fresnostate.edu/careers, and what you will do once you're on our main website, you will go ahead and scroll down until you find the web-based resources. Once you find the Focus 2 login, go ahead and give it a click. This is where you will find ultimately the basic login. The thing to remember most about this login page is it is not connected to My Fresno State. Do not automatically go into here utilizing your My Fresno State login information if you've never registered with Focus 2. So if indeed you've already came back and you're a return person, go ahead and fill out the username and password and click login. It'll take you directly to the home page of Focus 2. Otherwise, go ahead and click the bottom button that says register. Once you register, it will take you to the account information where you will put in your personal details and your account information. Our access code here at Fresno State is Bulldogs. So remember that aspect, that it is Bulldogs. It will not naturally be populated, but you will have to type it in. You'll put in your first name, your last name. If you're not quite sure, if you highlight it, it's going to be red, meaning that it is a requirement to fill out. Once you have done it correctly, it will go into a blue box like I did here with the Bulldogs. You will do your email account and confirm email account, and then your username and password. Once again, I highly suggest that you do go ahead and use your Fresno State email address and password to make things very consistent and easy for you to remember. Your year of graduation, go ahead and click 1. If you are an alumni, click alumni. If you're a faculty or a staff member. If you are someone that does not belong here at Fresno State or haven't started attending yet, go ahead and click the staff and other aspect. The other area is the top reason for using Focus 2. If you belong to a very specialized program like EOP or CAMP or Veteran Services, go ahead and click those. If you are here for a class assignment, click class assignment. Otherwise, if you're here just for exploration aspect on your own, go ahead and fill out that. If you are a faculty, staff, or whatnot, you could always put other. Lastly, you are going to choose your current college or school. When you're on here, go ahead and choose the appropriate college or school. If you are not quite sure or you're changing majors, go ahead and just put undeclared changing major. If you are a non-student or an alumni, go ahead and put other. Lastly, you will put your Fresno State ID number here. If you're a faculty member, you could use your employer number ID. If you are an alumni, if you remember your Fresno State, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just put 99s as it states right here. Lastly, click the box and press continue. Once you press continue, it's going to take you to security questions. These security questions, you have to complete at least 2. You could create your own security questions, which makes it very nice and customizable. Otherwise, go ahead and choose just the different ones that's available. Answer those questions and press submit. Once you do that, you will automatically go directly to the home page of Focus 2. What's really great about this is everything is on this home page. When you're in the assessments itself, this area that states Focus 2 will become a little home button, and you could go directly back to this main page. The very first thing that I like students to fill out is My Career Planning Readiness. This is an area that will allow you to know whether or not you're really ready to make a career decision. Sometimes you haven't been exposed to enough. So when you go into My Career Planning Readiness, you're going to be basically answering questions little to no extent, some extent, moderate, considerable, or a great extent. Making career decisions based on an assessment of your talents, values, interest, and personality. If you've never taken an assessment before and this is your first time around, or really consciously thinking about doing it this way, it's little or no extent. Keeping aware of trends of the job market, if you have no clue what's happening in the real world of careers, then go ahead, no extent. Talking to people who are employed in career fields that interest you, you've probably been doing that, so maybe a great extent. So you'll go through and answer these questions, actually being thoughtful about it, and not just randomly choosing it like I am currently today. And once you finish, you will have 3 pages, and I'm trying to get a low score. That's why I keep answering 1 star. And once you finish, you will have a result page. On that result page, ultimately, it will tell you with your self-assessment, your exploration, and your planning. If you notice, because I purposely answered very low, the question, the actual mean score is very low. It's ultimately very prepared as a 5, more prepared as a 3, not prepared as a 1. If you notice, if you highlight each section, it will tell you exactly where you sit at. On here also, it will show you your low self-assessment score indicates you are minimally involved in examining your interest, value, skills, and whatnot. Exploration, same thing. It will also give you things that you should be doing. Ongoing new career paths are constantly unfolding. Traditional ones are changing and shift. So keeping up to date with what's happening out there in the real world. And then ultimately planning. This is where you should have a score of a 2.0 or above. If you are below a 2.0, that basically means that you're not quite ready to make a career decision yet. That's not any fault of anyone, except you just haven't been exposed to enough. So to get exposure, what do? Job shadowing, informational interviewing, getting a part-time job, volunteering, joining a club. Start really utilizing some actual skills and abilities and interests that you may have to see if something sparks, and you could go towards that area then. Once you finish there, you could say finished, and it'll take you back to the home page. My academic strengths, you basically fill this out. If you've ever taken a class, you answer it. I never took the subject, or I don't do very well. At the end of this area, it will basically tell you what areas that you need to work on a little bit more, especially if those are your main focused areas for the career choice that you're contemplating. The other area, which is basically the true assessment of Focus 2, is the self-assessment. This is where you will find 5 assessments, your work interest. Ultimately, if you're interested in your future job, you will enjoy your future job. Personality assessment, this is how we relate to the environment around us. That's our personality. Leisure assessment. What exactly is leisure? Leisure is free time, so what we do for fun. Ultimately, what we really want is to have some of those components put into your actual career choice. That way, when you go to work, you're not singing zippity-doo-dah, but at least what you're not doing is complaining about it every single weekend. The next is the values, things that you value, what's important to you, and then skills, where your skills are currently at. What's really unique about Focus 2 is that right here you could actually combine the assessments once they are completed. Lastly, you could explore your possibilities, what you could do with any major here at Fresno State, what you could do with any major that's throughout the world, basically. Explore any occupation if it wasn't matched in with yours. Explore occupations by job family, meaning if you do job family, it's in different areas like arts and entertainment, sports and media. There's quite a few that fits under this one area. And then lastly, compare 2 occupations side by side. So if you're thinking about being a lawyer, and what's the difference between an administrative law judge or a lawyer, you could look at those 2 areas, and it's going to show you the overview, the educational requirements, side by side, what they do and what's important to them. And you could determine whether or not that indeed is something that you yourself would enjoy doing.